Hi diamonds, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Nisi, and today I have a great motivational word for you, and it is God sees you. God wanted me to let you know that He sees you. He has been watching you whether you understand it, whether you know it or not. Whether you are in a place of darkness or whether you are in the light, He still sees you and He still cares about you. So today we're going to read from the book of Genesis, and it's chapter 16. So God wanted me to talk about Hagar and Ishmael, and this is the New Living Translation. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, had not been able to bear children for him, but she had an Egyptian servant named Hagar. So Sarai said to Abram, "The Lord has prevented me from having children. Go and sleep with my servant. Perhaps I can have children with her, or perhaps I can have children through her." And Abram agreed with Sarai's proposal. So Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, the Egyptian servant, and gave her to Abram as a wife. This happened 10 years after Abram had settled in the land of Canaan. Okay, so I'm going to pause right there. Sometimes we are waiting for what we have hoped for and for what we have prayed for. And it looks like it's not going to happen because you've been waiting for so many years. But I'm here to tell someone and remind you today that God has not forgotten you. He is not a man that he shall lie, and his word shall not return to him void. Now, if God said that he will do it, he will do it. I don't care what it is. Buying a house, getting married, having a baby, being the first millionaire in your family, whatever he has said that he is going to do for you. I don't care if other people don't believe when you tell them what God has said that he's going to do. He will do it. You don't have to come up with any alternative plans because I'm here to tell you that God's plan is the one that you want, because his plan is the one that's going to blow your mind. His provision, his plan for your life, it is greater than you can ever imagine. So I'm going to share my story of how God will still make a way in your situation. He remembers his promise to you, and you will receive the reward. I was back in undergrad, and I remember I needed an internship to be able to fulfill my requirements to get my degree. So my degree was in biology. I'm applying to internships and I don't hear anything. I think there was a break or something that we went on. So I went home and God revealed several things to me in dreams. But one of the things, I remember going to sleep one night and I saw myself in like a laboratory. And when I looked at this laboratory, of course, there's flasks, there's test tubes, there's beakers, there's everything that you normally see in a lab. And I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, and it's just like a glimpse. Sometimes God gives you the word, sometimes he even gives you the vision, but you don't see every single thing. So you don't have all of the answers, but trust him. I get back to school, going back to classes. So I remember my professor, who was a part of one of the scientific programs. He was the president of one, which was LSIM. I go to his office hours and I said, look, I don't have an internship. I really need one. He says, okay, let me see what I can do and I will get back to you. So he comes back and he said, yeah, you got the internship. It comes with a stipend. Now, I was willing to do an unpaid internship because I would just want to fulfill my degree requirements. But God, again, this is why you wait on him and you don't try to do things on your own without him, because he had not only a paid internship, I find out that I'm in a laboratory, a chemistry laboratory. Another requirement is with LSAMP, you have to present your research at the next conference. At conferences, they have first, second, and third place in different categories. So in the chemistry category, I won third place presenting the research. Now, I know some might be thinking, well, it's not first place. Right, correct. But just imagine the doors that it opened, and I was so grateful. So I'm here to let you know, and I gave that testimony that if God said that he was going to do something, if he showed you something, he will do it. And it will blow your mind how great it is. When you think that all hope is lost, He has the very thing that he still promised you right there. You just have to continue to believe that God is going to do what he said he will do. And now I'm going to continue on with verse 4. So Abram had sexual relations with Hagar, and she became pregnant. But when Hagar knew she was pregnant, she began to treat her mistress Sarai with contempt. Then Sarai said to Abram, "This is all your fault. I put my servant into your hands. But now that she's pregnant, she treats me with contempt. The Lord will show who's wrong, you or me." So this is verse 6. Abram replied, "Look, she is your servant, so deal with her as you see fit." Then Sarai treated Hagar so harshly that she finally ran away. Verse 7. The angel of the Lord found Hagar beside a spring of water in the wilderness, along the road to Shur. The angel said to her, "Hagar, Sarai's servant, where have you come from, and where are you going?" "I'm running away from my mistress," Sarai replied. Verse 9. The angel of the Lord said to her, "Return to your mistress and submit to her authority." Then he added, "I will give you more descendants than you can count." Verse 11. And the angel also said, "You are now pregnant and will give birth to a son. You are to name him Ishmael, which means God hears, for the Lord has heard your cry of distress." And I'm going to skip down to verse 13 and I'll end there, but I do encourage everyone to continue reading the entire chapter. Thereafter, Hagar used another name to refer to the Lord, who had spoken to her. She said, "You are the God who sees me." She also said, "Have I truly seen the one who sees me?" I want you to repeat after me. God sees me. This time I want you to put your hand to your chest and also at the end say period, just like that. God sees me, period. Why do we say period? Because that's the end of the sentence and that's the end of the discussion. It's done. It's said, it's done, because God sees you. So why is this important for you to understand? Because some of you are thinking, I'm no longer in that place or space that I used to be. This could be physically, mentally, or emotionally. I like that God asked Hagar, "Where are you coming from and where are you going?" Because when you have decided to leave those things which are behind you and reach for those things which are in front of you, you should stop to ask yourself, where am I going? In other words, you have more peace and joy because you are no longer in that toxic environment, or you no longer accept depression and anxiety to take over in your life. But where are you going and what is next? So first, I want you to pray about your next decision. I want you to ask God to show you what's next in your life. Number 2, I want you to make a plan and execute it. And number 3, I want you to give God room to shift your plans according to his will. I mean, do you really think God won't take care of you when you're serving his people? When you're following his commandments? When you're treating his people right? When your heart is after him, do you really think that he's going to leave you? I'm here to tell you that God has not forgotten you. Even when the world has thrown you away, God has not thrown you away. I'm here to tell you now that this is the season for the diamonds to be revealed. I know that we've been hidden long enough, but that's no more, because watch out, world, here come the diamonds. Now there's another point in the Bible that also speaks on Hagar and Ishmael. And this one is Genesis chapter 21. Now, I'm not going to read the passage, but I encourage you to go back and read it. They were sent away by Sarah's request. And while they were walking in the wilderness, Hagar and Ishmael eventually ran out of water. Hagar and Ishmael are crying. So God appears and he says, "What is wrong?" Now, isn't it interesting that God would ask Hagar, "What is wrong?" Like he doesn't already know. So you think that God doesn't already know your situation and your innermost thoughts? You may not know what is next, but trust God. So at this point, God tells Hagar, like, "Go comfort your son and I will make him a great nation from his descendants." So I am going to go ahead and read verse 19. And it says, Then God opened Hagar's eyes, and she saw a well full of water. She quickly filled her water container and gave the boy a drink. So I thought that was also a really good point, because sometimes we may not know how God is going to do it, but He can have a ram in the bush. He can have anything happen to make sure that you are taken care of. And I want to encourage somebody today that God is getting ready to open your eyes to see those things that are right in front of you. God is the one that's in control. What was once invisible would now be visible. And you thought your gift didn't mean anything. God will use the very thing that we think is useless and make it useful for others. There is a key to this whole thing. It is about serving others like Jesus did. And Jesus said in Mark 10, verse 45, "For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve others and to give his life as a ransom for many." If you are contemplating your next move, figure out how to serve others. So I want to end the video by giving a charge to the parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. I want you all to pray for your children and grandchildren, because your prayers can change the trajectory of your bloodline. Your prayers can turn their situation around for the better, and not only be a blessing to them, but be a blessing to the family. So remember to always pray to keep your family covered. And if you enjoyed the video, I hope you would like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, bye.